Welcome back to the channel, you all. I am so happy you're here because I want to talk about something that I love to talk about, and it's a question I get asked all the time, and that is, how can I make an exercise more challenging without increasing the weight? And this tip, by the way, for those of you that work out at home and do not have access to a lot of equipment, listen up. Save this video because this is what you all can do in particular, but any of you can do this anywhere. And that's why I love talking about this, because there's so much opportunity, so many options to make an exercise more challenging without having to add a lot of weight. So let's get started. So the first variation is adding a pause at the bottom of your squat. Now, when you do this, you want to stay down low for 2 to 3 seconds. Literally count Mississippis or set a timer, but stay down there for at least 2 seconds. Now, like any good squat form, you want to keep your form intact the whole time here. So you want to make sure you're pushing your knees out. Don't let your knees cave in. You want to make sure before each and every descent, you take a big belly breath. Keep that belly nice and tight, like somebody is going to punch you in the ribs, and that is going to help support your spine as well. And you want to make sure that your chest stays up, so if someone were standing in front of you, they could read the letters on your shirt. The next variation is adding a half rep, a 1.5 repetition. So what this is going to look like is you're going to come down to the very bottom part of your movement and only come up about halfway, then go back all the way down and then all the way back up. That counts as one repetition. So again, you're going all the way down slowly with control, then you're going halfway up and then going back down and then all the way up. And if you watch me, I like to do these really slow with control. Like I don't speed through these and basically bounce from one position to the other, allowing momentum to take over. I am deliberately almost pausing in each stop, and that really ups the challenge of a 1.5 rep. The next variation is adding constant tension. Now, if you watch me, I am moving slowly from the top of the movement to the bottom of the movement. I come back up and stop just short of going to the very top of the movement. Instead, I go right back down to the bottom of the movement and I come back up and I keep moving between the top and the bottom without stopping for however many reps I have. That is the object of constant tension. You are constantly moving, never resting at the top or at the bottom. Now, the temptation here will be to speed this up as your legs start to fatigue. You want to try to keep this slow and controlled, because once you start speeding up the tempo, the tendency is to bounce off the bottom and allow momentum to help you get back up. So keep it slow and controlled and deliberate. You're going to get a lot out of it that way. I think you're going to love this variation. This one is super challenging. The last squat variation I want to show you is a slow eccentric. So what that means is you're going to come down into your squat just like normal. 1 to 2 seconds, you drop down in a good squat position, and then you're going to take about 3 or 4 seconds to work your way back up to the very, very, very top. So 1 to 2 seconds down with control, 3 to 4 seconds up with control. Now, with any of these squat variations that I have showed you, you can also add a mini band above your knees and add even another level of challenge without adding weight. Before we talk about the pause push-up, let me quickly remind you that with any push-up variation, you can always elevate your hands. You can elevate your hands if you're at the gym on a Smith machine. You can elevate your hands on a bench. If you're at home, you can elevate your hands on a countertop or a table. Elevating your hands allows you to be in a perfect push-up position while building strength. And that is a much preferred way to build push-up strength rather than go on your knees. So elevate your hands if you have to, work for perfect technique and full range of motion. Now, when you do your pause push-up, you're going to pause 2 seconds down low at your lowest position. at least 2 to 3 seconds. Count Mississippi's, set a timer, but legitimately stay down there and then push all the way up, keeping perfect push-up form the entire time. So now let's add a half rep to your push-up. You're gonna go all the way down, halfway back up, all the way back down, and then all the way back up. That is gonna equal 1 repetition. Now, when you do this, you wanna keep the tempo slow and controlled. You don't wanna start speeding up through this because your form's gonna break down, and again, momentum is gonna start taking over. So I like to do these nice and slow. This does make them more difficult when you slow it down because the time under tension for your muscles is much longer, but you're gonna get way more out of it by learning how to control your body and keep your technique perfect while keeping this motion nice and slow and controlled. Now let's add some constant tension to your push-up. Just like the squat, you're going to move slowly between the top of the motion and the bottom of the motion, and you're never going to fully lock out at the top. You want to stop just short and go right back down, keeping the motion slow and constant the entire time. This, just like the squat, is a super challenging push-up variation. So the last variation we're going to add for your push-ups is the slow eccentric variation. Now, on a push-up, what this is going to look like is you're going to lower yourself towards the floor, take about 3 to 4 seconds to get there, and then push 1 second to get yourself back up. So 3 to 4 seconds slow and controlled down, 1 second push to get yourself back up. And again, with any of these push-up variations, you can elevate your hands on the table, on a countertop, on the Smith machine bar, on a bench. You can elevate your hands, and you're better off elevating your hands, working on perfect technique and full range of motion than you would be if you're on the floor and you can't really do maybe 1 or 2 from the floor. Elevate your hands, you're gonna get a lot more out of it, and you're gonna get stronger quicker. Okay, so I just gave you 4 variations that you can apply to just about any exercise in order to increase the difficulty of that exercise. I showed you adding a pause, how that would look for a squat and a push-up, adding 1.5 reps on a squat and a push-up, constant tension in a squat and a push-up, and a slow eccentric, what that looks like for a squat, what that looks like for a push-up. Add those variations to just about anything, and you will have increased the level of challenge and difficulty by 10 times. So add these to your repertoire. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever on form, technique, or anything. And thank you so much for being here. Have a great day.